Well, good morning. My name is Paula. Welcome to our beautiful attitudes. Today we're going to talk about what is fashion. Of course, fashion is a big word. It's everything that comes and goes from season to times that we as human change is fashion. Is in fashion or out of fashion. Even you start with the houses we live in. The houses, they're different houses built in different times. Even the cars we drive in, there are different seasons for different kind of cars. For example, 10 years ago, there was a new car. They're totally different. There's only this car at that time. 20 years ago, there was not electric cars, and now it's a fashion that electric cars also is in. So you see, even the pets we have in the house, years ago they have the poodles, or the puppy poodles, and these they're the Chihuahua, something totally different. So fashion changes on that because we as people always looking for new things. But I'm going to keep it small. I'm going to do a fashion concerning clothes. You see, in the Middle Ages, there was the rich people, rich and wealthy, had very beautiful clothes. You can see they're shining, and because of the position they had, you can see it on their clothes. If someone was terrible rich, they had their best feathers and the most beautiful things, and you can just see this. If they're poor, they had just a few cloth wrapped around them, and it was tied up or whatever, that they still had on something to cover their bodies. But there was nothing about trends or all these things that we know now. Another thing is that but all these things stops after a while, after the French Revolution. The French Revolution makes sure that you can't always see on people's clothes, or they don't have so much strict rules. Well, if you're rich, you have to do like this and have to wear like this. Things changes, what make space for fashion and trends and blends. And because there what other was in some occasions, some environments, there was a few rules. For example, if you go into the opera, you need to be really, you had the dress codes, and it was very beautiful. You had to be looking really special. If you have, for example, there are some in uniforms at certain business class, you have to look in a certain way. If you go in, you can see this in religion. Some religion, you still have a strict dress code. For example, in Jews or the Muslims, there's some situation that a woman really has to dress in a certain way, going to the church or in a certain environment. And so these things are really important. When we talk about fashion in general, you see it's trends. You see it's really the fashion at the moment is the things that people wear that make them feel good in a certain time. So if you are now and you're on the street and you're walking with this big ball dress on the road, people are looking at you like you're crazy. So, but if you just put on a jeans and a t-shirt and you have maybe a blazer on, you feel comfortable with this. I mean, you are just a part of the trend and the fashion this time. I mean, you feel comfortable in what you have on. So that is the trend and the fashion of this time. And the word fashion also has avant-garde meaning, because you see, years ago, the fashion was set by the fashion houses, and that, you know, which kind of clothes you should wear and all these kind of things. These days, the fashion is taken from the street. You get inspired by the fashion on the streets, and that makes the trends of the time. Sometimes we do not always see the fashion what is now at this moment, because you see, like years ago when it was the 50s, you can see, well, oh, they had the petticoats, and you know, the 70s they had these really, they had the 60s, 70s, they had the flower power and all these kind of things. In that time, at that moment, they just wear what everybody wear, but afterwards you can say, yeah, this was really Ken Merck of that time, you know. So that is very, very good. A lot of the another thing is that the fashion shows, the pret-a-porter, are very determined for the fashion of the coming year. what it shows on the shows um, is what people has to, what do you see in the shops afterwards, and that is most time should be the trend, but it really depends on if people like to wear it. If people like to wear it and they wear it, then it is the trend of this time, and then you can say, wow, this is what is in, and that's what people is wearing. So it's really depending on what people has on, what they like to wear, what they feel comfortable to wear. That you can call it the fashion of now or the trends. I hope this video inspired you, and I hope you have a very good day. Don't forget to subscribe my videos. Goodbye.